about how epigenetics and genetics are different today. In a certain respect, epigenetics creates so many different other phenotypes, the expressions of those genes more than any other type of genotype expression in a Punnett square could ever actually come about. So if you have a dominant and recessive gene inside of our cells, they're able to actually code for this one dominating over top of this one to create, for example, dihybrid cross. If I have this as my Punnett square, as we've talked about before, and I put on my alleles of dominant and recessive to make my Punnett square. And whenever I cross them to be able to go back and forth, it might look something like this. A dihybrid cross where you have dominant, 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 recessive, recessive, recessive. And making that, you can figure out the probabilities. This is 75% dominant, 25% recessive expressed, and that's the phenotype versus genotype. Phenotypically, 75% of them are going to look blue. 25% of them are going to look red. You have 50% are heterozygous, and one homozygous dominant, one homozygous recessive. But that's just pea plants. That's basic genetics. That really doesn't combat all of the different things that epigenetics provides for us. You see, epigenetics knows whether or not it comes from a man or a woman, from the mother or from the father. In a certain respect, the genes themselves have a memory. And in looking at it, if the father gives off of his, even if they are the exact same, right? Then in looking at it, the phenotypes might look very, very different. For example, Prader-Willi and Angelman syndrome. In looking at both of those, Angelman's, whenever you have it from the mother will produce a phenotype that is drastically different than if the father has the deletion in his 15 chromosome. And looking at it, this one would be Prader-Willi, and this one would be Angelman's. And it's kind of interesting the way that the genes have a memory. And we'll go ahead and pick up there with genetics proper some other time. Take care.